all of these new Apostolic Reformation prophets and apostles, for that like 2-month, 3-month period, they are calling for the craziest shiz. Like, they are asking people to do wild stuff.
I find it hard to believe that most people in that crowd at January 6th, they're motivated by religious zealotry. Like, Donald Trump doesn't go out and say, man, I believe Jesus is my savior. Y'all should be in church on Sunday. God bless America. He doesn't do that.
I don't think we have enough evidence here to say that what was ultimately driving the majority of the people in that crowd was a desire to do violence in the name of Jesus Christ.
Okay, so, Kate, I'm looking in the Discord here, and you've got a bunch of slides of some very conservative-looking pastors, and the title of the presentation, you brought a PowerPoint today. Okay, this is awesome. Yeah. The presentation is how Protestants started January 6th. That's the thesis? Okay, defend your thesis, bro.
That's the thesis. So this is actually, this is my term thesis from a few semesters ago. I kind of repurposed it, made it a little more fun. I'm drawing primarily on this book, The Violent Take It by Force by Matthew Taylor. And the reason I thought it would be fun to share this with a Latter-day Saint audience is we're going to be talking about this group today called the New Apostolic Reformation. It's these group of charismatic Protestant evangelicals, and they have these very specific goals that they want for the country and for religion. And I actually had a workshop with Matt Taylor, the guy who wrote this book, at UVU a few months ago. And I asked him, because I was curious, I was like, what do you like? Like, I know you say, like, what this would mean for the country, like, if these people got what they wanted. But what would this mean for Latter-day Saints? And he was like, he's like, it's actually kind of funny, because, like, I have all these, like, keyword searches, like these things, notifications for Google when, like, news stories come up that have the word, like, apostle or prophet in them, because that's, like, my work. And I always see news stories about you guys. So, like, I'm way tied in with, like, the current events. But I think, he said, it would be really bad for you guys if these people got what they wanted.
Are you talking kind of like this Christian nationalism that people talk about, which half the time I think is garbage and just means somebody more conservative than I am? But you're saying the actual Christian nationalists.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I do think that Christian nationalism is sometimes just a catch-all term. But what we're talking about today is like quantifiable Christian, like literally people who want to erase the wall of separation between church and state. People who want the government to be run by Christians, and more than just the government, we'll talk about that in a second, but like these people want everything. And Matt Taylor even said, he was like, I don't know if you guys would continue to be around for very long.
You know what, man, I got to tell you, I'm sorry to cut you off, Jacob, but I sometimes feel really uncomfortable. I hate woke. It's horribly destructive and everything. But I got to tell you, when you hear guys like Andrew Wilson talking the way they do about members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka Mormons, and you see how quickly the right wing has turned anti-Semitic, just as, if not more anti-Semitic than the left, I think there's some serious canaries in the coal mine. The way that you see people treating Jews is oftentimes a precedent for how they'll treat Mormons. And I got to tell you, they're starting to behave in a way that I think Mormons will beg to get woke back when they see how Protestant, especially Protestant evangelicals, will treat us if they get what they want politically. I don't know which one I fear more, woke or woke right, man.
Let me though say, our nation's sort of religious liberty was birthed out of Protestantism. So if these Protestants want to take away religious liberty and work against it, these are not people that are following in the actual Protestant tradition. The Protestant tradition is actually built on that. Now,
it's the Quakers that were leaving religious oppression.
Communism has just never been done right. You know, they're just not true communists, because communism is like beautiful and we need more of it, right?
No, Protestantism at its core historically was a rejection of centralized authority in Rome. And what happened is then that then transferred into all of Rome's babies, which were all the different governments of Europe. And basically our own founding was essentially the rejection of a theocratic government in England. Now, it wasn't they weren't rejecting the religious tenets and things of Christianity, but they were rejecting sort of tyrannical rule by the government, but that was birthed out of a rejection of authoritarianism practiced by the state.
Yeah, which is, and it sucks that we find ourselves in this position now in this country with how the Protestants want to just erase the wall of separation. But
do they really, or is this a very small minority of like fringe radicals?
I'm going to show you.
Dude,
So,
okay, I want to see the evidence, bro. I want
Okay,
to see
pull
the
up this slideshow.
Okay, look, you got slides,
So-
dude. You're the youngest boomer I know, bro.
Well, there's not going to be any colors or fonts because I have
Okay.
no artistic eye. But so this
Okay.
guy in the top left, go back to the last slide.
First
real
one's-
quick.
okay.
So this guy in the top left.
Doing the Nazi salute on accident?
No, he's
pulling an
throwing his
Elon
heart
Musk.
out to the
He's
crowd.
throwing
He's
his
just
heart
throwing his
out.
heart out.
Okay,
I'm just
okay.
kidding. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked with this guy. This guy's name is C. Peter Wagner, and he is a professor at Fuller Seminary, Theological Seminary. And he is a professor of this thing called church growth. So he's basically teaching classes on how to like grow Protestantism. And he has these like crazy classes on like healings. And he literally just brings these like crazy like Protestant healers in, and they're just like praying on students and like trying to do miracles in the class. And
Sweet.
they're finally like, all right, we're going to shut this down. This guy's
awesome.
crazy.
Wait.
So
What'd you say?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. So he eventually starts talking about this thing. He's reading the Bible, right? He's reading the scriptures, and he's like,
Yeah.
where are all these apostles and prophets that the Bible's talking about, right? That's got to come back at some point. And I'm not saying he bit our flow, but he kind of bit our flow. And
So for you older guys, that means like he copied us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like getting out Google. I was getting out Google Translate. I was like, all right, so what language is that?
and
Is it bit our flow or bid our flow?
bit.
Bit our flow.
Bit our flow.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay.
So he says, well, there's got to be more prophets and apostles. And so he starts establishing this network. He calls it a network. And he sees this as like the big thing. Like this is what's going to change everything. And these, do you have it up right there?
It's just Wikipedia.
Yeah. So he starts building this network of other people who think that they are apostles or prophets. And it usually happens where it's like at a specific church, you'll have one prophet, one apostle. It's usually the pastor and the pastor's wife. The pastor is usually the prophet, and the pastor is usually the apostle, and the pastor's wife is usually the prophet. And
Prophetess.
yeah, well, they just say prophet. It's weird. I don't really get why.
It's like actor or server. You're not allowed to say
They've gone
waitress
woke.
or actress now.
They've gone woke with the
These people are far from woke. But
Dude, I gotta tell you, by his Wikipedia profile, I'm digging this cat. Like, listen, on paper, he's like Charles Peter Wagner was an American missionary, writer, teacher, and founder of several independent Christian organizations,
Yep.
charismatic Christian organizations. He is known for leading the building of the New Apostolic Reformation, whatever that is, a network of apostolic prophets.
what we're talking about.
what Kate's
And then,
trying
no,
to explain.
I haven't figured it out yet. I just haven't figured it out yet. But it says like in his earlier years, Wagner was known as a key leader in the growth movement. Later, for his writings on spiritual warfare.
Okay, that's where
It's
we're
got
going.
this,
That's where we're going. So
Okay.
his whole thing, he starts seeing this like apostles, prophets thing, and his big mission is these like territorial spirits. So he thinks that like spiritual warfare is what undergirds this whole thing. Everyone needs to just drill in your mind spiritual warfare, and we're not talking like just good versus evil. Like everyone
Isn't
has
that what
spiritual
the
warfare
Apostle
within
Paul
them.
said?
Yes, but that's like when we talk about spiritual warfare, we're talking like I have a natural man and I have a spirit, and they're at war. Or like we are trying to make the world a better place.
You're
Like
trying to euphemize it, bro, and make it fit in with all of your secular scientific buddies.
absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. But so these people, they do this thing called what was it, the 10 Windows campaign? I can't remember what it was, what the number was. But if you go to that next slide,
Okay, gotcha.
those red countries right there,
Yeah.
they are where they thought that like there were the most territorial spirits. So
Territorial
Interesting.
yeah, so there's these little spirits, and they live in like specific areas, and he writes about this like extensively in his books. Like there's like a spirit here and a spirit there, evil spirits, and you go and you do spiritual warfare by blowing shofars, like the Jewish shofars.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I just want to get this straight, that these are the people who are like Mormons believe in weird
Yeah,
stuff.
no, these are the people. These are literally the people. Yep.
Okay. Wait. So I think it's kind of funny that nowhere in the New World or north of, like, I don't know, the 50th parallel are there any bad spirits, and nor in sub-Saharan Africa
I'm pretty
or
sure
Australia.
that's exactly where our missionaries aren't allowed.
Yeah, I think that's why
okay.
they see these as like very like.
Oh wait, Japan, maybe not.
I was going to say, but poor Lisbon. Lisbon, Portugal got screwed
Yeah,
and added
yeah.
to the
There's
list.
definitely some
you know?
cursed. There's definitely some cursed spirits in Japan. I don't know if you guys have seen Jujutsu Kaisen or not. There's an anime that'll tell you all about it.
Okay, so C. Peter Wagner and this prophet named Cindy Jacobs, who we'll talk about in a second. It's that chick up there in the top.
Okay, yeah.
And
Total Karen.
And Dutch Sheets, this guy in the bottom, he actually gets involved a little bit later.
Dang.
But they go to Mount Everest because there's this giant territorial spirit there named the Queen of Heaven, and she's literally made this evil, like, spiritual stronghold on Mount Everest. And so these, like, 14 people of the New Apostolic Reformation go up to base camp of Mount Everest, and for 2 weeks, they're, like, doing prayer campaigns and blowing shofars, and then they defeat the Queen of Heaven. Like, she's like,
Rock on!
yeah, they got her. They finally got her.
It's like
Baptisms for the dead
things are
are
either
so not weird now.
super rad or like totally weird.
Kind of sounds like there's role playing Pokemon.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I mean,
And it's the 7 Mountains Mandate, I think is what it's called, right?
oh no, okay, we're gonna get there. So
Okay.
then, so these people, they have an established network. They're doing well. They're
These
building
people.
momentum, and so this is where we get into the 7 Mountain Mandate. There's this guy. If you go back to the very first slide real quick, sorry, this is kind of annoying, but
Okay.
the guy in the top right, his name is Lance Wallnau. Lance Wallnau, and we'll see some clips of him later. Very, very well-connected individual. Close friends with Charlie Kirk. They go on each other's shows all the time. He's friends with people in government, tons of people in media. He's all over the place. He gets connected with C. Peter Wagner right after this time when they're doing these spiritual warfare things, and he latches on and he just loves it. And
Dude, I'm loving it.
it's an interesting story. It's
Dude,
fascinating.
look, but listen, hold on. Look, this sounds Mormon. The 7 Mountain Mandate, encouraging Christians move to different spheres of society so they can affect them for better. All right. What do we say when we say, go out, get your education? You're the salt of the earth. Jesus Christ commissioned us to go out and to, be, if the salt loseth its savor, with what else will the plate be salted, or whatever that translation
So
is. This is just like basic Christianity, like our basic Mormonism too, right?
Okay, so the way, maybe in that bullet point, that was actually made by one of my classmates.
Okay. Blame it on the classmate.
Yeah, it was my classmate's fault.
Yeah.
It was actually funny. She was a very progressive. She had does this ex-Mormon group on campus. They did an ex-Mormon documentary, and they were doing a bunch of stuff about reconciling families that have left and families that haven't. And she said she was researching this project, and she was listening to Charlie Kirk to do it, and her AirPods died in her political science class, and everyone heard her listening to Charlie Kirk in the middle of her, and she was like, "Look, guys, come on, this isn't what it looks like." But she did a really good job of the presentation. But I'm trying to be more open about what's actually going on here. But so Lance Wallnau, he tells this story all the time of these 2 individuals. Their names are escaping me. One of them is the president of the Campus Crusade for Christ.
Cool.
And don't show that one yet. Don't show that one yet.
I'm not.
Okay. So the Campus Crusade for Christ is where William Lane Craig first started, doing his ministry.
Wasn't Campus Crusade for Christ also where that one guy that was on with Alex O'Connor who left the faith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy too. I can't remember his name.
Good Mythical Morning guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very, very powerful group. They do a lot of good, I'm sure. But it was them, and then this other group that I think it was C. Peter Wagner was trying to get off the ground, and Lance Wallnau. Sorry, there's so many names and players, so tell me if this isn't making sense. But Lance Wallnau tells this story about these 2 individuals going to dinner to talk about how they can work together to build the kingdom. And Campus Crusade for Christ guy and C. Peter Wagner, they both show up to the dinner, and both of them the night before had these visionary dreams of the 7 mountains of the world, which is arts and entertainment, business, education, family, government, media, and religion.
Okay.
And they think not just that the Christians need to influence all of them for good. They think that Christians need to be in charge and rule over all of them. They think that Christians need to be in everyone's pots, pulling all the strings like the puppet masters of every one of these.
It's Jewish world dominance, but Christian world dominance.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna step back and say, okay, so if Christians shouldn't, then who should? Atheists?
Like anyone, it's like a good mix. Yeah, good mix.
Why? Why would that be a better thing?
I don't want a Christian erasing the separation wall.
What if it was Latter-day Saints who not through any coercion or violence, but that Latter-day Saints were able to inculcate or run the tools of government, media, and other things and infuse them with our values?
So are we saying, are we making it illegal to drink coffee?
No.
Well, why not?
Because that's not
a
Latter-day
Saint value. Come on.
No, it isn't. Liberty is a Latter-day Saint.
It's a commandment.
But liberty is a Latter-day Saint value.
Yeah.
Also.
So, and this is where the distinction gets in. These guys don't just want general Christianity is good. We want to put out the message of Christianity. They're like, no, we want to force everyone to go along with this.
And I want to. My thing is, I just want to draw the distinction here. I'm playing a little devil's advocate.
No, that's great. I love it.
I want to push back a little bit, but here's the reality that people don't realize. Someone's going to run those institutions, and someone's going to do it with their value system. So the only question is whose value system is being infused into the systems of power in the government, and what values are governing the governing power. Latter-day Saints, people were like, oh, there's sort of this idea that religious liberty is if Latter-day Saints get the power, they're going to outlaw something like coffee. Actually, what we believe in more than you shouldn't drink coffee, we believe in liberty. And so we allow people to make choices and not use the violence of government to force people to comply with the commandments of God, right? Except for in the defense of rights.
Yeah, and I want to see
fine.
Before. So it's a pretty bold claim to say that they want to eliminate religious freedom. I want to see a smoking gun before I ingest that accusation as fact. And also,
let's keep going.
How did they or how are they responsible for January 6th?
Okay, so you can go to this next one. This guy, this screenshot here.
Okay.
So when I did this project, I emailed all of these guys.
Oh, okay.
And I tried to get an interview with all of them, and I got rejected by all of them. All of them were like, no, I'm not a part of that. That's not a real thing. It's not a real thing.
Oh, interesting.
And they write books about this stuff. And they write books about them doing this. And then when I email them and ask them to do an interview, they say, no, come on. And so that's Dutch Sheets. We'll talk about him in a second. He totally denied that he's a part of this group. And so you can go on next. He and the others are basically, and this is hard because it's not like they don't have an official website. They're a network that C. Peter Wagner established of these prophets and apostles. And as this Seven Mountains mandate gets more important, so Lance Wallnau takes it, Cindy Jacobs, Dutch Sheets, all of them start believing this, and it's really important to them. And then they start running with it. And as these elections start going, for the first time, C. Peter Wagner, on his deathbed, casts his absentee ballot for Donald Trump. And it's the first time he's ever done that. It's the first time he's ever voted for a candidate. And he casts his ballot, and people are seeing this as like a prophecy. They're like, this is his last wish as this guy in this apostolic movement. And this kind of like mobilizes them to continue to keep going. So
I see on your slide here that it says in the Seven Mountains mandate that you put down it encourages Christians to move to different spheres of society so they can affect them for the better, and that Donald Trump represents someone who could help the NAR, or the National Apostolic Reformation, quote, capture that government mountain, which is one of the seven spheres of influence here.
Yep. And
then just for the audience that can't see it, and I'm going to preserve your email address here so nobody starts sending you spam. You said you inquired in some information for them, and then they responded to you, And the response reads pretty professionally. It seems like
it was a nice email.
Yeah, the person here was nice and said, "Thank you for contacting Dutch Sheets Ministries. Dutch is not a leader or part of an organization called the New Apostolic Reformation, NAR. It was a phrase coined by Dr. C. Peter Wagner to describe what he believed would be the result of the Holy Spirit's restoration of apostles of the church. The true apostolic movement is led by no man, has no formal membership, and is not humanly organized in any way. Since there is so much misinformation about NAR, we recommend researching Dr. Wagner's original teachings to learn what it is truly and what it is truly not. Here's some resources," and then provided you some links to Statement of Faith, Reformation, and the Fivefold Ministry.
To buy like 5 of his DVDs. That's what those links were for, too.
Okay.
They're, like, overpriced, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So they're saying that there is no conspiracy here. So
Yeah.
okay.
They're saying no.
Dude, we could never conquer the government mountain, dude. We almost had a LDS president, and now like most American members hate him.
Yeah. And most American people hate us. So
Yeah.
this next little thing here, if you can go to the top right part of that, Cardin.
Yeah, I'm there.
So this separation of church and state, they say this all the time. It's like, oh, well, it's not in the Constitution. Founders
Okay.
were wise and careful to establish a Constitution. This is in that link he sent me.
Our founders were wise and careful to establish a constitution that would not allow America to have a state religion, nor be ruled by one rebellious group. However, knowing that Jesus Christ is creator and Lord over all the earth, they did so while also acknowledging God's sovereignty and imploring his continuous wisdom, protection, provision, and involvement. Okay,
So,
this sounds
fair
like
enough, right?
a very banal statement our church office building would make.
Yeah, it's like just kind of passing the buck a little bit. Like the true apostolic reformation's led by no man. We don't like the separation of church and state. It's not in the Constitution. We kind of maybe believe in a little bit of it, but maybe don't believe in a little bit of it. Like whatever, you know. So if you can go, we're gonna go forward a few. Then we get to this story leading up to the 2020 election. So
Okay.
Lance Wallnau, Dutch Sheets, all these guys start making like bold prophecies after Donald Trump wins 2016 that he's going to win again in 2020 and he's going to help the Christians finally conquer for good the government mountain. And this is when their rhetoric starts to like really pick up. And this is Paula White Cain. She's really close to Donald Trump, and she's also kind of the way that all these apostles got into like official government systems, because she was friends with these other prophets and apostles of the movement. And if you like watch the video of the elevator, apparently this is what he said in an interview, Matt Taylor. I haven't found I can't find like a full video of Donald Trump coming down the escalator when he announces his presidency. But he said that like right after he went down, he like turned and gave a hug to Paula White Cain. And you see Paula White Cain in like pictures at the White House all the time. She's always there. She's like his official spiritual leader right now. Like she's like on salary at the White House.
Oh, cool.
And she's friends with all of these apostles and prophets.
Freaking weird.
No, she's so weird.
Really?
Really weird.
Yeah, like I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I don't recognize her. Okay, cool. Keep going.
You don't know her?
No.
Dude, Cardin loves giving all these guys the benefit of the doubt.
I know, actually, buddy.
Well, I'm just not seeing any smoking guns.
Look at. I guarantee that lady does not let her kids watch Harry Potter.
Like, okay. I'm just not seeing any smoking guns.
Okay.
Like so far, I just see some awkward boomer evangelicals that all wish they were Billy Graham.
The smoking gun hasn't come yet. Don't worry.
Okay.
So they make these prophecies that it's finally time for Donald Trump to drain the swamp, do all the things that the Christians want him to do. And they start making these extremely bold prophecies, like prophesying that Donald Trump will be the next president.
Or that Zion's in Missouri.
No, not like that.
Not that bold.
Okay.
No, not that bold. It's true. And that one's cooler too.
Okay. So yeah.
So these guys start prophesying Donald Trump's going to win, and then Donald Trump does not win the 2020 election. And which is the next one? So the spiritual warfare imagery between November, when the election's called, and January starts picking up like really, really heavily. And that's that spiritual warfare that they were doing on Mount Everest. And that imagery that you'll see, like we'll go through 1,000 videos right here, but it's all throughout every video of January 6th. It's all spiritual warfare. And if you go through all of these New Apostolic Reformation prophets and apostles, for that like 3-month period, they are calling for the craziest shiz. Like they are asking people to do wild stuff. They're like leaning into the rhetoric. They're leaning into the spiritual warfare stuff and just like begging people to go out and do it. And the crazy thing is, all these guys like Dutch Sheets, the one that I emailed, and they had an official meeting at the White House. We don't know who with it on December 29th or something of 2020, like just a week before January 6th happened. And we're going to see a video from Dutch Sheets 2 days after this meeting. And after this meeting, it's like this week leading up to January 6th is when it gets, they organize the Jericho March on the National Mall. And everyone remembers Jericho, city of Jericho.
Okay.
They walk around, they blow the shofars, they play the drums, and the walls come down. Like that's what they were looking to do at the National Mall. This spiritual warfare, like the Queen of Heaven on Mount Everest. So play that first video, Cardin.
Okay, cool. Here we go. First video going on right now. Oh, it says I don't have permission to play that file.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'll request access from you, bro. Can I have access? I'm going to write pretty please.
Okay, please give him access to
I don't know if I can do it, guys.
We literally can't watch.
Request access. There we go, bro.
I hope this doesn't have to do it with all of them.
Are you giving me access right now, bro?
Are you Angry Camel?
Yep.
Angry Camel?
All right, yeah, I just shared it.
Okay, hold on.
Is it Google Slide?
Yeah, it's Google Slides. I didn't know you had
Share
Google
the
Slides.
whole thing with them on the top right, the share button.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's sourcing like another file from Drive.
I share the.
There we go. Okay, cool.
What's the email I should share the whole thing with?
You got it right now.
Okay.
Angry Camel.
So here we go. Okay.
So that's
Yeah, okay.
so that's a hymn that they're singing.
Sure,
on
I
January
just see
6th
a
in the
bunch
Capitol.
of evangelicals singing a hymn on the National Mall. Okay.
And then next video,
We're not going to finish this one.
they're
There's
just
some
singing.
decent harmonies there.
Yeah, no, it's actually
Like,
not bad. It's actually
Yeah,
not
okay.
bad chorus,
I
but
enjoy that.
Cardin
Okay.
is so skeptical of what you're saying
Just
right now.
I know, he
next
totally
video.
is.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, bro. Here,
All right.
Okay, next one.
so this is the video. You hear the shofar?
Yeah, I heard the shofar.
So there's shofars.
Okay.
You can see in some of these flags, there's this flag called the Appeal to Heaven flag that Dutch Sheets. He like says he has the
Well, an appeal to heaven was the very first flag that
George Washington. Yes.
flew. Yeah.
So in this time when he's like ramping up the political rhetoric, he it's actually really similar to like the Constantine vision.
Okay.
Where like under this sign you will conquer. He's like, I had this idea, this vision last night.
Okay.
Where under this flag, we Americans will conquer like the stolen election.
Okay.
And I'm like,
so
wait, that kind of sounds like Constantine. But dude, it's so funny. And then you'll see that flag, and then you can go to the next one as well.
Well, a political leader appealing to symbolism that his people are familiar with is kind of like a time-tested trope, right? So, okay, next one, right here.
Yeah, next one. This one I just think is funny. Look at that chick.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, so just to clarify, all these people are part of this Apostolic Reformation?
So,
Is that what this is?
like, all of these people are heavily influenced by them.
Okay.
Like,
And how do you
we'll see a
know
video.
that?
We'll see a video from Dutch Sheets in a minute, where he says, "This guy just starts like praying in the cat. It's really funny.
okay.
It's like really funny."
All right. I don't wanna...
And so if they're all not tied in with this, this is so funny.
Glory, hallelujah.
Okay.
It's inside the Capitol.
Yeah, he's in the Capitol Rotunda.
Okay, so if anything, that's just proof that these protesters weren't this violent mob everybody wanted to make them out to be. They were some overzealous evangelicals. This, to me, isn't a smoking gun yet, bro.
Okay, there's more.
Okay, there's more.
So
All right.
Just wait till we get the Moroni guy, Captain Moroni, up there on
dude.
Cardin's like
That guy got duped.
Cardin's like, they're good singers. Like, it doesn't matter if they have a noose with Mike Pence's name on it. They like to sing.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, you can say that like the one dude in 1,000 with a shofar is an example that they're the new apostolic revolution. Just like I don't think it's fair to say that because one dude had a noose with the name of Mike Pence on there as some like inarticulate gag or whatever. It's just like you can't look at liberals and see the one person that has a Che Guevara shirt on and say that like, oh, they're all a bunch of people that want to shoot 13-year-olds in front of their mothers in the name of revolution and communism.
No,
So
they
there's
don't.
not
They
just
would
one-
never do that. They would just chemically castrate them.
Okay, yeah. So it's like I'm telling you, I'm not seeing evidence of
You gotta
widespread.
keep watching.
So
Okay, I'm watching.
also keep in mind, I went through hundreds of videos, and that's not the only dude with a shofar. Like,
Okay.
there's videos of the protesters breaking the windows and like blowing the shofars into the Capitol to like cast out the evil spirits.
Just to clarify, you're saying these people think that they're trying to take over the government with this
Spiritual warfare.
with this Wagner guy kind of leading them along.
Well, Wagner is
dead
dead at this
now.
point, and it's mostly
he's dead?
like
Did I miss
these.
that?
Yeah, sorry. I think I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
he
his
said
He said he was
deathbed
on
or
his
whatever.
deathbed.
So
he just wasn't paying
So
attention.
everyone got the prophecy.
I was waiting
prophecy
for the smoking gun.
Prophecy that Trump is supposed to be like the guy that does this for him was inspired by this Wagner dude voting for him.
Yeah, and then they all pick up on it.
Okay,
They
yeah, this is
prophesy.
dying
So
wish.
him
Okay, I
losing this
remember.
election.
They
is
prophesy.
like
They
their
prophesy that
truth
Donald Trump's going to
claims are
win,
in jeopardy.
and then so the prophecy is in jeopardy, and
Okay.
So-
So they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
go to.
So this is like a post-mortem of the new apostolic reformation's demise, ultimately,
yeah.
cataloging how you think it led to a lot of the protests that got out of control on January 6th.
So just like
Okay.
if you think of like any why was this protest so religious, and why was there this suspicious alignment between these?
Well, I don't think it was religious. I feel like that's also us adopting the language of our media oppressors in America who are constantly trying to say anything Donald Trump does is white Christian nationalism. Though I believe that there are idiotic white Christian nationalists, I have tons of friends that were persecuted for months, if not years afterwards, for having participated in January 6th. I was supposed to go there. Somebody had actually sponsored a ticket to have me go there as part of my radio program, both my terrestrial radio program on FM 98.1, but also I was running a show with the guys from a black conservative channel called You Ain't Black, and also I had a channel called Problem Solver Politics.
You don't vote for me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I was supposed to be there on January 6th, and my buddy Siaka Massaquoi, who's a friend of this program, he had his house broken into by the FBI. He wasn't even a Christian. He wasn't baptized into Christianity until years later, yet simply just for having been at the Capitol and on somebody's iPhone. And the fact he was a conservative in Los Angeles, he was horribly persecuted for years. And Donald Trump getting elected, he actually breathed a sigh of relief the day Donald Trump got reelected and said, I'm not going to prison. Like, so I don't think it was a religious rally. I think it was a rally, and there was a lot of religious people there, but there was a lot of people just like me and my friends. I'm not part of the new Apostolic Reformation.
Yeah, certainly. But so why, I'm just like, why is this rally breaking out in hymns,
Because
shofars?
I would.
Appeal to heaven flag, Christ flags. There's like pictures of Jesus Christ and Donald Trump on all these flags. Like, this is the most religious protest
Because maybe he was the only
riot
candidate.
ever.
Yeah, but maybe it was also one of the only candidates that hadn't vilified Christians as horrible, religion is harmful troglodytes, and it was the first time that Christianity felt free to operate out in the open.
Let me. I think that there is a question to be asked about sort of religious zealotry in politics that does exist. It exists even in our own faith.
Yeah.
Where people will. Now, granted, I'm also someone who I was just arguing a second ago, I actually want people who have our values or as close to our values as possible to run all of those institutions mentioned. I'm all in favor of that. However, I also recognize that we are to be led as a people by real prophets and apostles. And when you start going out there and making prophecies of any kind about the special nature of Joseph or of Donald Trump, and he has some special role, and you're starting to get these premonitions of prophecy, in my mind, it's like, bro, that's not even your role. Like, you're the elders quorum secretary in Lehi, Utah. Your job is not to receive revelation about who's supposed to be the president of the United States and how that's going to come about and relate to the events of the second coming. And by the way, I'm talking to the podcasting world, where you have weirdo podcasters out there talking about things that are way outside of your stewardship.
Guilty as charged.
And so, my point in this is just that I think that this is instructive, that these people are obviously following a false set of prophets. And I think anyone who props themselves up to begin to speak in these sort of high level, I know about the big picture, just anytime someone does that, you should immediately be suspicious
But
of them.
this email
They are not a
makes it-
prophet, seer, and revelator, and they should not be speaking in that way.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this email right here that Cade put up, and again, I'm going to spare his email.
Well, this is after.
Okay, I get that, but it seems like nobody's really endorsing this right now. Like, if you were to actually call the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and say, do you guys actually support a modern day individual and hail him as a prophet? They'd be like, yes. I mean, we'll contextualize some claims, but yes, we believe Joseph Smith is a prophet. They're not doing that. And so to me, it's like, and I got to tell you, these dudes that look like this in these videos. Okay, let me just go down. Like, the thises of this world, okay, are not what we're struggling with. I feel the overzealous soccer moms, where this is like their first vacation with Jesus.
The Allie Beth,
what I'm saying?
Beth Stookies of the world.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, like, now, see, what's funny is, I think the Andrew Wilsons on the male side and the Allie Beth Stookies are a far bigger threat to Mormonism.
I think those people in those videos are those types of
that's
people.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get
You
at.
think so?
I do.
Obviously, there's people that just
These
showed
are
up
like
to this
the
thing
hippies.
that didn't know what was going on. That's not why we're
Okay.
talking about January 6th. We're talking about January 6th because there's people that went with violent intentions.
And keep in mind,
But do you think so, though? Because that's been proven to be not. That's been proven to be not the majority opinion. That's what the media and the left was
The majority
pushing.
opinion
But the
about-
Pew Research polled the American population and people that were there and like people involved in the investigation or whatever it was. And most people feel that January 6th was not a coup attempt, but was a protest that got out of control.
it seems to me like it's overwhelmingly a spiritual warfare attempt. So these people, all these
I don't
new
know.
Apostolic Reformation leaders, they have 3 million members across all of their churches that they are pastors over.
First, I would say this. I would say that, was there an element of kooky spiritual warfare people there who were planning on casting out demons from the Capitol building?
yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
And I think that that's a lesson in religious extremism and not following God's
And
real
they're at our
prophets.
conference building after January 6th. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean
exactly.
that I think that they're trying to do a coup on the Mormon church.
Do I think that Karen, who doesn't let her kids watch Harry Potter, was going to go and put a noose around Mike Pence's neck and hang him from the rafters? I don't think that was her intention. I think she was going there to blow a trumpet to scare out the demons.
And I'm not making a claim about that either. I'm not making a claim about these people's ultimate goals with what's actually going to happen. I don't know what each of these individuals is doing.
Are
or
you
what
saying
they're
the
looking for.
majority of these individuals were evangelical Christians, though?
Yes, and so if you look at this
motivated
video
by
of-
religious
I think it's
intentions.
I think if you take away the religious fuel that this new Apostolic Reformation is putting on here,
they'd be
I don't-
woke and they'd be atheists.
well, if let's say these guys didn't exist, say this whole thing never happened, I don't think January 6th happens. I just don't think it happens.
Okay, well, that's fair. It doesn't have to be a majority to say that a very motivated and vocal minority could have, because I'll tell you right now, without data to back it up, survey data of everybody who was there, I find it hard to believe that most people in that crowd at January 6th were there motivated by religious zealotry.
Yeah, and so
I would believe they were motivated by curiosity. They were motivated by political excitement. They were motivated by politics.
I'll push back on that. I do think that they were motivated by religious fervor, because my political opinions and most religious people's political opinions, they'll say they stem from my religious beliefs.
No, but that doesn't. That informs it.
But I would say no. I would say it comes from it. Like that's where my political views come from. They come from my religious views. Now, what I'm saying though is that did those drive them to act violently? I don't think I don't think we have enough evidence here to say that what was ultimately driving the majority of the people in that crowd was a desire to do violence in the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because I reject the premise. I reject the premise that January 6th was an insurrection. That is just a faulty premise that is put out by people that hate religion, the right, Donald Trump, MAGA, Mormons at all. It's just a pejorative that's no different than people that say Mormons aren't even Christians. They're the exact same kind of people that just say January 6th was an insurrection. So if I reject that premise, and I don't think the majority of the people that were there were motivated by religion, I can believe that maybe a very vocal minority helped the protests get out of control a little bit.
You have it wrong. January 6th was an inside job.
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, and Gadsden flags don't break windows. You know what I'm saying?
It was an inside job from the New Apostolic Reformation. Let's get that clear.
Okay, so we got two more slides. Two more slides.
So the most important one is this Dutch Sheets one, the Day 56 video.
Okay.
So this is the one that's 1 or 2 days after this.
This guy right here?
Yeah, after this like suspicious White House meeting, he posts this. Don't start it yet, but he has this prayer app or this like daily devotional app. It's like Give Me 15 or something like that, where it's like a 15-minute like spiritual thought or scripture or something. It has 500,000 downloads. And he has, I think, almost 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he's posting these videos every day. And then it's like the temperatures just keeps going up. 2 days after that meeting with all the apostolic leaders, like after they decide to talk to each other.
So the week leading up to January 6th.
Yes, this is New Year's Eve that he posts this video. So 5 days before, he gives this information. So you can start it and then go to like maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, cool.
This should just be like a YouTube link, and he talks so slow. So maybe put it on.
Okay, here we go.
There was a door leading underneath the floor of this barn, which we entered. Interesting. We didn't go into the main level. We went below. Underneath the floor, we gathered our horses into one area.
Okay, sorry. I need to contextualize this. He says, this was a prophecy that me and my friend are giving you. Like this is a dream we had. This is a vision. This is a prophecy of how things are going to be going.
Wicked, awesome. Yeah. Okay.
To stand. We could see a door far on the other side of this space, and we knew we had to get through that door to get out the other side, obviously. However, with the ceiling being so low, some places lower than others, there were low places our horses could get stuck. A couple of team members then began measuring the height throughout the space, marking a trail, meandering, measure here, ceilings hanging there, over here, marking a trail the horses could meander through. When they reached the exit door,
I don't know how many people view this.
They all returned to our horses,
so boring.
Led them along the marked path and out the door. She continues. When we exited, we found ourselves in a field and could see out in front of us the U.S. Capitol building. We mounted our horses, and as we sat looking at the building, we heard air sirens going off. These were like the air raid sirens you would hear in old World War II movies. As the sirens were sounding, we saw a huge hand come down from the sky and take hold of the dome of the Capitol building.
Oh, cool.
With the fingers of the hand wrapped around the dome,
yeah,
the thumb of the hand flicked the dome open.
Sweet. Like a beer
when
bottle.
It was opened, a very thick black smoke began rising up out of the building. The smoke was so thick, it was almost solid and actually resembled a living thing. The dome remained open until all of the black smoke finished rising.
Okay, so he has a vision of the Capitol where the Capitol building gets popped open like a soda pop can, and the demon angel vapor mist thingy comes out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all the Christians believe it's a sign that the Capitol building is going to be exercised by Donald Trump.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay,
and
cool.
if you keep going, so we don't need to watch it, but basically the people in the vision continue to go forward, and they are riding their horses, and on the ground they see the words like, I can't remember, it's like continue onward, don't stop until it's over, or something like that, like just some weird like cryptic message. And this video has like 500,000 views. Like 500,000 views. And if you look at the comments, Christians are like stoked about this. They're like, may God like smite down the evil government and fix everything and may God fulfill the prophecies that he gave us through this weirdo on the screen. And this guy's not the only one. Like, all of them were making these prophecies, and all of them are boiling up the temperature. And most people don't know January 6th wasn't like the only protests. There were those, I told you this, there were 2 protests before that these people organized. January 6th was just the third that never happened because they just went a little crazy. But the first 2 were Jericho marches. Like, these aren't just like a political rally, like my political voice needs to be heard. This is a Jericho march.
So, okay, I get that it's a Jericho march and that they're actually fully ingesting this idea of spiritual warfare. But to a certain extent, I kind of feel like Gamaliel in the sense that all I'm hearing is there was a bunch of religious zealots who kind of failed.
Yeah, and so that's a fine interpretation of what's going on. Like,
yeah, okay.
I don't want to say, like, I don't want to make any claims about January 6th itself. I don't want to say it was an insurrection, it wasn't an insurrection. That's not my interest here. My interest is, why were there people that thought they could why were there people in the Capitol building, and why were they all using these flags and these symbols, and why was it so proud? Like, why were they so religious? And
well, because some people are crazy. Why are there corporate moms? Like, there was an interview with one of the executives of Disney. Jordan Peterson was talking about this, where it only happened like 18 months ago, before woke was broke, where she said, oh, I can't believe it, but like, one of my daughters is trans, another one of my daughters is pansexual. And it's like, okay. And the executive said, oh, I don't know why. How do they turn out that way? It's like, I think all of us know exactly why. Like, the chance is the 1 in a billion of the pansexual one and the 1 of a trillion of the transgender one. Having 2 out of 2 be that way, is it the kids or is it their mother? And the fact that we have socially incentivized this, and now the same silly women in the 80s, they're like, oh my gosh, I want a black baby, as though like a human is a purse, or a Gucci bag, are now looking over at the social incentives online to have a trans child and thinking, oh my gosh, I want one of those. So it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is a horrible and heinous thing if you think about it, but people do it for clout, for status, out of eccentricity at best, out of misplaced religious zealotry at worst, mental illness at worstest. So, I mean, I look at this and I think, okay, I think it might have informed the protest that got out of hand in January 6th, but I'm still not quite convinced that it was religious zealotry that created January 6th.
So it created, I mean, we'd have to qualify what that means, but my claim is that all other things equal, if these guys weren't pouring gas on the fire, it wouldn't have happened. And I think a lot of people, like, if you're a little bit more conservative minded, like, this should be appealing to you. This should say, like, oh, this was like this came off of a religious misstep. This isn't like a failure of our country. This isn't like a political fail. Like, this is just these people who were really powerful and made a bad prophecy, telling all their followers to just do crazy stuff.
Well, I think in the famous words of Magneto in X-Men, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, he said, in chess, the pawns always go first. And I think one of the things that the Donald Trump presidency did was actually finally make Christians feel like they could openly practice their religion, or at least just simply, frankly, admit, I am Christian, without immediately being vilified or burdened with this idea that, oh, you're harmful, you're anti-gay, you're racist, you're blah, 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 because woke, secularism, consumerism, whatever you want to call it, had for so long vilified Christianity that you didn't feel like you could speak out in the open. That finally, once you could, well, of course, the most crazy voices are going to be the first to scream the loudest, because when you open up the soda bottle, what comes out first,
Well, think about the Reagan presidency. Like, the guy talks about it in the book. Like, that's when evangelicals really formed a political affiliation. Like, evangelicals loved Reagan, and Reagan loved them.
Well, maybe evangelical specifically, but to say that the intertwining of religion and politics happened in the Reagan era is foolish. I mean, throughout the 60s, the most popular radio program was a Catholic
You're
cardinal.
just saying evangelicals didn't identify as like a group before that, right?
Yeah, and I think that's like I think you are right in that, Carter. Like I think they started to kind of gain a lot of cohesion.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Now, it does make me feel uncomfortable sometimes, like being a Christian and stuff like that, when I see people that I know for a fact hate me doing stuff like this.
Yes.
Like, that does make me feel uncomfortable. Like, I get it. I don't know if it convinces me that January 6th happened because of them. And I don't know the individual level of bigotry of all of these people in that picture, but I do others. And I am uncomfortable in general with a lot of the right wing. But okay, I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I see where you're coming from.
So my ultimate point is I am a very, very strong believer in my religion being protected from the government, and I don't want my government to be involved in my religion either. I want both to be very separate, and like the values, like what Jacob was talking about, that's awesome. Like I'm all for the value of human life and liberty and like the things we value as a religion. I am going to fight for those tooth and nail to be involved in the government.
Yeah, but the reason why I would defend these people's ability to do that, no matter how batshit crazy I think their shofar ideas are or whatever, is because just like, you know, it's, I loved it because it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bass. We're going to take an old Jewish instrument. Like, I mean, we have a baptismal font with 12 oxen in our temple. That's probably
awesome.
crazy to somebody else, right? So, anyway, I'm just saying that I even though I may not agree with it, I may not like it, I may think that they write horrible books that are misinformed about Mormonism and stuff like that, until they're actually showing a propensity to be willing to take away our rights, especially by force, I kind of just like leave them alone, Gamaliel style. Yep. Because nobody in this picture do I recognize as being a wild anti-Mormon. There are others in the right wing that I do, and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's my only evidence for the fact that they wouldn't be huge fans of us is Matt Taylor, who's like interviewed a lot of these people and he's tracked the movement very closely. He was like, yeah, that would be really bad for you guys.
No, I have no doubt. Everyone in that group
they hate us.
Like Mormonism, dangerous cult, like the hardcore evangelical types are like,
they're bad, bro.
They're the ones who are showing up at our general conferences. So
yeah, and
we need more, and we need more Pastor Jeffs.
Yes,
and less of
Pastor
these.
Jeffs.
And there is a propensity on the extreme right. I mean, after this whole Epstein thing, who knows if this will fizzle out, but thinking that Trump is like ordained by Jesus to
I forgot to bring that up, bro.
save us.
So Lance Wallnau comes up with this idea that Trump is a type of Cyrus, King Cyrus.
What's wrong with that?
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's pretty common. They talk about it all the time. All these
You're
guys
saying
do.
it originated with this dude?
Yeah, so he comes up with that. Like he says he meets Donald Trump for the first time. He gets invited by Paula White Cain into Trump Tower and he talks with him.
But that goes completely with what I said. Christians have felt like they've been on their heels and on the defensive for so long that when finally somebody just simply says, you're allowed to exist out in the open, not even overtly promoting you, just you're allowed to exist. Return to your homeland, build your temple, live in peace.
This might just be
That's
'cause they've
all
been
Cyrus the Great did. He wasn't like Donald Trump doesn't go out and say, man, I believe Jesus is my savior and y'all should be in church on Sunday. God bless America. He doesn't do that. He hugs the American flag, says gay, what's it called? Gay marriage. I'm not touching it. It's the law of the land already. Let's move on. What do the Christians want? Something fine. Give it to them. We're moving the embassy to from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And anybody else got? Yeah, let's shut down these wars because I want to make money. Like that's what he's doing.
So I feel like it might just be because Protestants are so mean to us on our channel, but like I don't feel bad for. I don't feel like they like couldn't live out in the open. If you look at the court case data, they have filed like the smallest percent of religious liberty court cases or like civil court appeals or not civil court. Sorry, I can't even think of.
Probably because they dominate geographically where they are. So, like for example, I don't feel bad for a Christian in Indiana. I feel bad for a Mormon, a Jehovah's Witness, or a Catholic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel bad for I don't feel bad for a Protestant in Ohio.
Well, the amount of court cases that Protestants win, like religious appeals, versus every other group, it's ridiculous. Like, they have always had a little bit of a foot in the door from what I understand. But
okay, cool, awesome. Well, unfortunately, we got to go. We got a hard out right here. Got to start a radio program. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Is white Christian nationalism a real problem? Is it overblown? Let's keep the conversation going. For this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.